to Digital Deluxe Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Digital Deluxe Podcast, episode numero 5, or episode 5, as they say in the good old US of A. Brought to you by, as always, TitleRace.com. As you can see there in the background, you can check it out for your sports, gaming, entertainment news. Of course, you can check out the Title Race Stream Team at TitleRace.com/Stream Team. As always, we have our FIFA 16 tournament going on, so I'm gonna always plug that so that way you guys can go check it out. We're pretty much closer to the end of the actual matches being done. We have a pretty close race with Supa and the Fatal Boys themselves, Spin Bros. We'll talk more about them as well and kind of like give them a little plug so that way people can go watch them out now that Fatal has started. But as always, we have with me my co-host, my man Colin. How are you, Colin?
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm super.
Tell the people what you're drinking, Colin. Tell them so they can join you in the drinking activities of the whatever you call that.
I was just straight vodka, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Look at that.
Icelandic to match the whole Euros thing.
From what mountain did that vodka come straight from, dude? I mean, it has to be pure vodka in order to come from the mountains.
Yeah. It's pretty epic. It's cool shit. It's actually from a volcano, so.
And for those of you guys that don't know, my name's Alex, Aka ExclusivelyLex. I do apologize if I'm shouting, but I'll try to make sure I tone it down for you guys. But I'm excited today because we have a lot to get through. But we're always going to start with the most interesting thing that I think is part of our podcast is what are we playing? I like to start with Colin, but I'm going to take it over myself because I like to talk and I'm in a talking mood. So I'm going to talk about what I'm playing first, Colin, if you don't mind. It's okay. You don't have to answer that because I know you don't mind. All right. So I'm playing a couple of things. One, playing World of Warcraft again. So I'm back in that hole. By that, I mean the addiction is coming back. So, my friends are all coming back as well. I was raiding last week. I've been playing Overwatch, and most importantly, I've been playing Halo. I stream Halo again, and it's a lot of fun. Let me tell you. I know you don't like Halo 5 yourself, but I still think it's one of the best multiplayer games out there. We'll let you defend your reasoning for not liking Halo 5 off the podcast, so people don't have to listen to you bitch and complain about it. But for now, we do approve of Halo 5, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well coming on the podcast. So that's a quick rundown of what I'm playing. But let's go ahead and kick it over to Colin. Colin, what are you playing and what are you streaming nowadays, man?
I'm playing Pokemon Light Platinum, which is like a mobile game. I've been getting like a lot of emulators. The whole Pokemon Go thing has really put me back into my childhood. So Pokemon Light Platinum is pretty much like all the original games, like the first 5 generations, just smashed together into one game. And then there's like a whole new storyline, and so it's catching them all is damn near impossible because there's like 700 Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say
together. Yeah.
I was about to say, isn't that the one that has like they have over 500, and then is that the one you still have to trade with the people to still get more Pokemon like all the other ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing is like it's probably impossible to catch them all on Light Platinum just because I don't even know if it has an online capability just because it's not like a legit Pokemon game, like it's illegal basically, like it was like fan made pretty much. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Go as well, getting out when I can, hunting when I can. But other than that, like I haven't really played because last week I was playing Red Dead, but haven't really jumped back on that since. Played a little bit of FIFA, but yeah, not a ton going on.
Yeah, I mean, like speaking of Pokemon Go, we have like a small little group at work. We all got this little app called Line or whatever. It's like a communication app because our emails were being flooded with nothing but replies to the email group. So we kind of had to say let's just take it to a mobile app so that way our emails don't get flooded with nothing but, hey, there's a Pidgey out there. Hey, let's go take a walk and go take over the gym or whatever. Pretty much Team Red has taken over the office. Anybody that's Team Blue or Team Yellow, every time we pass by, we just give them the stink eye and we say Team Red. And we slapped the phones out of their hands. We've kind of had some HR issues over that, but it's okay. They're Team Red too, so they're not going to do anything to us. We're okay. Team Red all the way, dude. I've actually convinced people. I've convinced people to go ahead and start a new account and join Team Red whenever they join up. They weren't that high of a level anyway. They were like level 5, level 6. But I've convinced them to go ahead and make a new account and become Team Red. That's how you do it. That's how you recruit for Team Valor. And pretty much anybody else that listens to the podcast, Team Valor is a true way to go. Follow the path of the righteous. That's all I'm saying. In order to get, Moses, in order to get through, get his people out into freedom, he had to part the Red Sea. So, what I'm saying is that the Red Sea complied. The Red Sea is life, and the Red Sea equals freedom. So Team Valor is a true Pokemon team to lead us to greatness. Now, you were also mentioning real quick about FIFA, so we're going to make a quick little plug here for Title Race members, 30 Spin Bros. That's their Twitter, at the 30 Spin Bros. Your YouTube is Spin Bros, and of course their Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Spin Bros. They are in Fatal with a group of other big YouTubers, so if you guys want to go ahead and check them out, they already posted up two episodes so far. Well, 3 technically, but 2 episodes for their Fatal. Go check them out, go cheer them on, go let them know that Title Race is behind them, and go let them know that the podcast sent them their way as well. And of course, make sure you choose the best option for them to go ahead and win it all, just so we can know and we can say the Title Race pretty much helped them leap them to greatness, even though they never want to admit it. It's pretty much it's all because of us that they are where they are.
Entirely.
Right, exactly, entirely. Yeah, no, but on a serious note, go ahead and give them give them some support. Go ahead and show them some love, and of course, subscribe to the channel, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Title Race channel as well. Or pretty much, if you're watching the video podcast, you can watch it on the Title Race YouTube channel, and if you're watching the audio podcast, the YouTube channel link and the website link is all in the info, so you can go ahead and click it. You can go there and you can go check it out. Now, speaking of emulators and speaking of what you were talking about, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, and I'm gonna let you talk about it while I look it up, is the NES Classic Mini. $60, comes with 30 games, and you can buy another controller for $10. My question to you, Colin, is what do you think about that, and are you gonna buy it yourself, man?
I have a couple things to say about this. I think the first thing is that it's releasing in a really dodgy area. It releases in November, which I really think is a bad idea. I think this is more so if they release this now, it would sell a lot, because there's not a lot to play right now. A lot of the games, there's not a lot of big releases. So if you could get a game a system essentially like this out there, and to really ignite people's nostalgia, especially with Pokemon, everyone's going back and digging out their old stuff, people would definitely buy this right now because of how big all of that is. The fact that they're releasing in holiday, I think, is just stupid. I don't think it's going to sell well at all. It is only $60, and it is 30 games. And for $60, I mean, that's what you usually get one game for. So to get 30 is pretty crazy. I know. And it comes with the original Super Mario Bros., which is debatably one of the best games ever. It comes with the original Metroid. Comes with the original Final Fantasy, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Zelda, all that cool stuff. And I don't know if I'm gonna buy it, to be honest, because I'm not gonna know what my financial situation looks like in November. But compared to what we've been spending $60 on lately with all these games that have come out and disappointed, I wouldn't be surprised if it did sell okay, but I just think the season it's selling in it's just unwise.
Well, I mean, I know that you were mentioning the 30 games that do come included, so let me go ahead and read off the list of the games that are available. If you're watching the video podcast, of course, you can see the list there on the screen. It includes Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania 2, to my Science Quest, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, Dr. Mario, no treasures unfortunately, Exit Bike, Final Fantasy, which is probably amazing, one of those amazing games that you can definitely come back to. Galaga, of course, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, and as you mentioned, Mario Bros, Mega Man 2, not Mega Man 1, but Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, and of course the Pac-Man Collector's Edition, Championship Edition is going to come out. They are releasing another version later on too, so that's also coming out. Punch Out featuring Mr. Dream, not Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Star Tropics, Super C, Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, Tecmo Bowl, The Legend of Zelda, which I'm probably the only reason I would definitely I am probably going to pick it up is because of Legend of Zelda, just to play it all over again, and Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link. Now, I know they're kind of like you said they're releasing like in a dodgy time, November. That's usually when they release consoles and everything like that. But with no console coming out, I mean they have a lot of big games coming out. Obviously, like Sony and Xbox, Microsoft have a bunch of like other big games coming out. But with no console coming out, and literally as soon as this hit the news, everybody was going crazy about it. The fact that it comes with these 30 games, it's only $60. It's only $10 for another controller. Um, it's literally the size of your palm, and of course it has HDMI cable. So it's even though it's 8-bit, it's still gonna it can pretty much go on any TV. So you don't have to worry about getting those those three cable splitters, the component cables like you used to back in the day. And for somebody like myself, my wife, she likes playing games, but she likes playing the old school games. So when I told her about this, I pretty much said, $60, I'm gonna buy this and we're gonna go ahead and play. And she's like, yeah, I'm definitely down, especially if you can just get another controller for $10. So I mean, it's an emulator pretty much. Unfortunately, we don't know yet if you can buy more games for it. I don't think you can. I don't think you can add more games for it, right?
No, because the console lid on the top doesn't actually open. That's something we found out like today or yesterday, I think, is that it doesn't open. So those 30 games that it comes with, those are the only 30 games you're ever going to be able to play on it. So like that's another thing that I don't think it's going to sell as well, because people who heard about this were like, oh man, I can get all my old games out, I can play all of that, like get my old controller out, like play all my old stuff. But you're not going to be able to do that. You can only use the 30 games that are on there and the controllers it comes with, because as an HDMI port, it's like a new system. It's like not like like you said, it doesn't come with all the old cords that you had to use, so it'll be different.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the only unfortunate part of this is, they do have the virtual console on their systems like the Wii U and the Wii, where you can pretty much go ahead and of course the 3DS, where you can go ahead and pretty much purchase older games and play them. So that would have been cool to have, but it doesn't. But these games aren't that bad, honestly, and $2 a pop per game is actually not a bad price at all. So I'm definitely looking forward to purchasing this. $60 is not a bad price, like you mentioned. No, it is out November 11th. There's no pre-order links yet on Amazon or anything like that, because if there was, I probably would already have pre-ordered. Just like I said, it's a reason for me to go ahead and bring it to the house and play with my wife. I mean, of course I can go to my mom's house and go ahead and look under the beds and look in the damn garage to see if I could find my own Nintendo system with my duck hunt gun and everything. But honestly, this is $60. It's a small little thing, and I can probably carry it around with me if I would go somewhere else, like just to have it for fun, or to put it on a little TV or something. So I think that's gonna be a good price for what's included in a good system. But again, nonetheless, I mean, emulators are easy to come by. Of course, we don't really recommend going on that, because it depends on what kind of emulators you get, that they also might mess up. So this is the way to go. I know a lot of people are definitely excited, though. The Twitter blow up was insane for when I saw it. I just couldn't avoid it. It was everywhere. So the fact that they brought this out of nowhere was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy for Nintendo, and I'm hoping that Nintendo shows off the NX soon. I don't know if you've heard any rumors about the NX, or I know that they supposedly said the guy from Ubisoft, the main head honcho, has spent some time playing with the NX and seeing it, so we know they do have a functioning product. We don't know exactly what it looks like, and we don't know what's gonna happen, but we do know it's gonna come out next year. That was confirmed by Ubisoft again, with Just Dance being one of the first titles included for the actual NX. But go ahead and move on to something else. Other than FIFA and stuff like that, there's another game that I know you like playing a lot. That's Halo 5, right?
Oh man, hit me in the feels with that one. No, not exactly.
Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead.
I mean, the frustrating thing with me is like, growing up, I thought the Halo campaigns were like some of the best campaigns out there. And obviously everyone says that multiplayer is the strength of this game. I totally understand that. But the fact is like, they built this campaign up so much, Halo 5's campaign. And then if you look back, like with all the marketing, like they literally custom designed a podcast for this thing. Like they were doing all kinds of stuff. And then the campaign was debatably the worst campaign of the Halo series. I would say it was. I understand that the competitive aspect and that kind of stuff is probably better. I know you probably brought this up because we're going to bring up the statistic that the player base is higher than it's ever been since Halo 3, so it's the highest ever. And I mean, I understand, because I was a part of that Halo 3 player base, and it's amazing to be a part of that kind of community. So maybe it's just that I was so burned by Master Chief Collection that I just really didn't want to get back into Halo. So I don't really know where you stand on this, but
I mean, honestly, I get exactly what you mean with the Halo Master Chief Collection because I bought it. I was super hyped. My friends were all hyped. We jumped on to play it, and everything was broken. Unfortunately, everything was just broken to hell. And
Yeah.
whether it was 343 didn't know what they had in their hands, which I'm pretty sure they should have, being that they worked on Halo 4, or they just weren't ready for it. I don't know. But the fact that Master Chief Collection bombed so badly, I think that's honestly one of the reasons Halo 5 did so poorly when it did come out.
Yeah.
Even though it technically didn't do poorly by game standards, it did poorly because it didn't keep the people like the other ones did. The campaign was one of the worst ones as far as people are saying. It's one of the worst campaigns that people have played, and a lot of people love when it comes to Halo. Not only multiplayer, but the single player story is probably one of the greatest stories out there. And you mentioned this podcast. This podcast is called Hunt the Truth, and there's 2 seasons. Season 1 is a little bit better than season 2, but let me tell you though. Right now that you mentioned it, I had totally forgotten about it. But right now that you mentioned it, I wish it would have kept going with that podcast because it was so good, man. They had like great voiceover acting, voice acting. They had great sound effects. They had great music. It was just like literally like what I wish some audiobooks did. Because some audiobooks are just like this, they just talk and read the book to you. Like literally, it's like you're just sitting there and they're reading it to you. And that's cool, I guess. I get it, and some people change their voices and stuff like that. But the fact that this podcast, Hunt the Truth, had not only great voice acting, but you can hear the sound effects of them playing on, hitting the keyboards. You hear the shooting, you hear the explosions in the background, you hear them breathing hard as they're running, and then you hear the music as well, and it's like it just makes it more intense. And then when you start figuring out what the story's about, what's going on, and it has nothing to do with Master Chief himself. It's all around Master Chief, obviously, because it's Halo. But when you figure out that it has nothing to do with Master Chief, and you figure out what's going on and who the characters are and who you kind of feel like you want to put your support behind, that podcast is amazing. So do yourself a favor if you haven't listened to it. After you listen to this podcast, go ahead and look for Hunt the Truth. It's the last update was in December 8th, 2015. So I mean, that's pretty much the last time we're ever gonna see that. But I agree with you. That podcast was amazing. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned something that I was going to talk about is that the fact that the community manager, known on Reddit as Bravo343, who a lot of people have been pretty much enjoying the way he interacts with them on Reddit, he gave us a statistics that Halo 5 has had some of the best concurrent users, pretty much anywhere around. They've had more users since pretty much since Halo 3. Like, you said you played Halo 3, and that's probably one of the times that people love multiplayer the most. And I myself love this multiplayer. I stream this multiplayer nowadays. Like, it's become one of my main games on my Twitch channel to play, just because I still love SWAT. I think some of the they do the fact that they do constant updates, free maps, free gun skins, and all this stuff, and they recently brought in Warzone Firefight, which is pretty amazing. Like playing Firefight again. And every month you have to pretty much go ahead and rank up again over and over again. I think that makes it a lot of fun, and it gives it a reason to come back. It was over on IGN. Reading this article over on IGN.com. It's Halo community manager Andy Dudinsky, known on Reddit as Bravo343, revealed the fact when responding to a thread about Halo's position in Xbox most play charts. This isn't something we talked about yet, he said, but I'm rather happy to share that even before the free play period, Halo 5 has had the highest monthly active players for a Halo title since Halo 3. So the reason I bring this up in the podcast, and the reason I bring this up at all, is because I want to convince Colin to finally pick up Halo. Come play some matches with me, man. Come show the love and show me those skills that you used to have back in Halo 3, man. So that was the whole point of this long segment. It's just to say, Colin,
Thanks.
look, man, it's doing well. Come back to Halo, por favor. Join us. And then we'll see if he comes back to we'll see if Colin comes back to Halo. But if he doesn't, that's okay. We still have the fact that Halo is doing well. So, Colin, will you come back and try Halo 5, man? Play some SWAT.
This at episode 10.
This is episode 5, but episode 10 we're still gonna be doing it if you haven't played Halo yet, man.
There you go. If I haven't played it by episode 10, I have to go buy it. Are you happy now?
Yeah, man. I'm happy now. You had those free play days. I don't know if you were able to download it on time, but
Nope.
the whole reason I wanted to make this podcast, the long con, is pretty much just to get you to play Halo again, dude. That's the whole reason this whole podcast actually started, and the
Thanks.
whole reason this whole podcast is gonna be going even after you start playing it all over again. But now, like talking about, switching to another gear, talking about stuff that's pretty much been on constant updates and stuff like that. Um, One of the things that just got updated again and became free to play, Evolve 2.0. Did you ever play Evolve before we went free to play?
What the shooter, the
It's the so
like
if
the
you,
dinosaur shooter?
yeah, so Evolve is the game where one player plays the monsters and then four of the players play a
Yeah.
hunter, and they pretty much chase each other. The hunters chase the monster, try to get him down. Of course, the monster's job is to kill him. Judging by your reaction and by your action, your question, I don't think you've actually played it.
Oh no, I didn't play it. Like my roommate did, bought it
Hmm.
at release. I think it was it was like one of those problems where like people played it for like the first couple weeks. You know, I think a problem a lot of games have had in the past couple years. Like if you look at the Siege when it came out, Rainbow Six Siege, that had like really good numbers for like a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, and then it just dropped off extremely. Same thing with Titanfall, and I think games like that have just like not done that well in that space. And so Evolve, I think, kind of falls in that category where like people were really into it for a while, but then people just kind of got burned out on it, and it wasn't worth their time anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I know one thing that you mentioned, also like, Rainbow Six and stuff like that. Rainbow Six has had its moments, just like Call of Duty, where they sell a game like at $15. At least Call of Duty did just for the multiplayer, and Rainbow Six is only multiplayer. Rainbow Six is still an amazing game. The multiplayer aspect of it is really really good. I really enjoy it. It's of course not a lot of people play it, but every once in a while when I can, I used to play a lot of Rainbow Six especially on PC. It's just a lot of fun, like shooting through the wall, setting up the traps, defending the way you had to, and I was fortunate enough that I actually when I bought my graphics card, it came with Rainbow Six for free. So like that's the only reason. Honestly, that's the only reason I bought it or picked it up. I don't think I would have picked it up if it wasn't for that. Um, but the reason I bring this up too is my question is, what do you think of games that sell at the beginning for a $60 price, and then all of a sudden they get a discount, much like Battleborn right now on the Humble Bundle. If you check out the Humble Bundle, they do have a Humble Bundle, and you can get Battleborn for $15, pretty
It's really
much.
good. It
Yeah,
makes it
which
really good.
and it also includes some stuff for like I think it includes some expansion stuff as well on the lower tiers.
Yeah.
But of course, if you buy the highest tier, which right now is $15, you get not only Battleborn, but you get almost everything else that's included there, which is really really good for that 2K bundle. But what do you
Yeah.
think of games that go for sale for like $60 and then either go free to play or just take like a massive discount like they do like Battleborn did on the Humble Bundle? Like, do you think you can trust like pretty much how games go and say, hey, that game's gonna be a bust, I should just wait to buy it at $60? I should buy it at $60, I'm sorry, or should I just wait and see if it's gonna like in probably like 4 to 6 months it's gonna be dropped down either half price or go free to play?
I mean, we've had this discussion multiple times before. If you think about like back when we were talking about Steam and early access, I think it's kind of the same principle. It's like, do you go out and do you risk the money just because the premise sounds good, or because the game footage and everything like that you've seen has looked good? It's like I don't trust that anymore. I don't trust the marketing. Everything that the game company puts out is supposed to make that look amazing, and anyone else that gets access to something like that early on is going to be forced to say good things about it, like we've talked about before. So like a lot of these games like Evolve, like Titanfall when it came out, like a lot of these games, they look great when they come out, but I think you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait because if you get a game that comes out gets a 6.5, like you need to understand that if you buy that game, you're not going to be playing in 3 months. You're just not going to be, even if it is a multiplayer only game. Like people I know have bought Siege and they thought it was really good for the first like month or two, but then it's gone now. Like no one really plays it anymore. So you just kind of have to understand the risk when you purchase it, that you're not going to be playing it in a bit, or like you can do what's happening now and just wait and then pick it up later. And then there's always games to play. There's always games to play, and the game from 6 months ago right now that you didn't play, can probably go pick up for the $10 or $15 when it was $60 to release. And I think at the heart of a gamer, you know what game you want to pay $60 for nowadays, because there are better options. Like, you don't really have to pay $60 for a game anymore, especially with like the Green Gaming and the G2A and like all these different partnerships that we've garnered. Like, you don't have to pay $60 for games, especially on PC. Maybe on Xbox One and PS4, it's a little more. You kind of do have to pay $60 for certain games. I'll pay $60 for FIFA 17 when it comes out. I don't know why I continue to do that to myself, but you know, like games like that, you're definitely gonna pay a full price for. But with a game that's an unknown quantity, like what was that game? The Revolution, or you know what I'm talking about?
Which one? Give me an example of what it has.
Fuck. Oh, it's
Homefront: The Revolution. Yes.
Homefront. Thank you. Homefront: The
Yeah.
Revolution. It looked really good, right? They had been working on this game for like a decade, like maybe a little bit less, because it hadn't come out, or like that series hadn't been refreshed in so long. And then the game was bad. It was really, really, really average, and it was just kind of everything you had seen before. So that game, if you would have spent $60 on that, you would feel really, really cheated right now. So I just think you need to wait. I just don't believe in buying games at a $60 price point unless it's a known quantity. Like, you know, Mass Effect Andromeda, when that comes out, I'll pay $60 for Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'll pay $60 for FIFA 17, but I'm not going to pay $60 for Evolve 2 or Star Wars Battlefront 2 when it comes out.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Evolve 2.0, of course, not free to play. But you bring up a good point, especially with, you know, a game like Star Wars Battlefront that had a great running at the beginning because everybody was wanting to play Star Wars again. You know, with the new movie that came out and everybody bought it, and then everybody saw how much of a major flop it was, especially with no single player campaign.
Yep.
But you made a good mention as well about Homefront. I was able to play in that alpha and the beta when that came out. Woo! I played a couple rounds and I was like, this game is not good. And people would ask me like people would say, hey, let's go play some Homefront, or the people would be like, yo, I'm gonna stream Homefront, and I was like, save yourself the trouble, man. Just don't do it. Do not do it for the love of God. And I mean, it's insane how badly this game looked, but yet they still want to go ahead and release it and expect to get the money for it when you can see how bad it was. The targeting system wasn't great. It looked really horrible. It was really laggy and sketchy. And then just the gun customization was probably one of the best things about it, but it still wasn't that great either. And then the way that they use the tech mechanics and stuff like that in the environment for it, they try to kind of use it like Battlefield with the whole destroying the buildings and stuff around you, but it wasn't that great, and it wasn't as transparent as Battlefield is. So you know, that's a good point that you bring up. But as far as like paying $60 and stuff like that for games, and pretty much the game keeps on evolving. I myself am still paying for a game that keeps on evolving, and even though it's been out for 10 years, and I played it pretty much for like 8 or 9 years already, that's World of Warcraft. Now that game is a little bit different because that game pretty much like Eve and stuff like that, and those MMOs from back in the days, they still charge a monthly subscription. But a lot of MMOs, when they come out nowadays, they go free to play right away. They don't even bother with the subscription model, or they do a subscription model. You know that sooner enough, they're gonna go free to play. So I mean, I've seen it where I'm like, oh, dude, been playing WoW so much. I'm kind of tired of WoW. Or you know, I'm not gonna quit WoW. I'm just gonna play it once a day, or like, you know, for one day out of the week or something. Like kind of hop in and out. But stop raiding, and I'm gonna go check out these other MMOs. And then you check out these other MMOs, and they're great for a month and stuff like that. And then you see that they're gonna go free to play soon enough because they can't keep the numbers up, or they're not putting out what you thought was gonna be a great MMO. So I mean, the MMO market is always full of ripe with free to play games, and I mean, we see games like Dota, of course, games like League of Legends that do great with free to play models with the microtransactions. Even Pokemon Go is free to play with microtransactions. So I mean, free to play seems to be the way that a lot of games are going, and I mean, I don't mind it because you get to try out the game, and of course, you get to see what it is. But I wish a lot of games after they went free to play, and then you saw how great it was, if you wanted to try out different modes and stuff like that, that's cool, that's great. But then if you wanted to actually keep on playing, instead of microtransactions, I would definitely appreciate something like, hey, on a mobile game, hey, spend $3 and you get the whole game, or hey, spend $15 and you get the whole game, or hey, spend $30 and you get the whole game. Microtransactions add up really quickly. But I mean, that's how they make the money, that's how they make the revenue. So I can't blame them for that. Another reason why I also brought up World of Warcraft is because it recently released a new patch for the new expansion. I'm just gonna make a quick tidbit on that. And if you play World of Warcraft, the new patches out before the expansion. The new expansion is out August 30th. It's called Legion. Pretty much a lot of changes for the classes, a new PvP system, new transmogrification system is already up and running. Pretty much, Legion is the pre-patch is already there. You guys should go check it out if you're playing World of Warcraft. It's a great time to jump back in, kind of get some more story before the actual expansion comes out. And then when the expansion comes out, if you do buy, one thing that I saw is if you do buy the collector's edition, which is a physical edition, and then it gets mailed to you from like Amazon or Blizzard or wherever you buy it from themselves. If you do buy the regular edition, you can input the regular, you buy the regular edition digital, so you can go ahead and start like some of the Demon Hunter stuff early, like some of the stuff that they have, and of course you can get your level 100 boost. I did talk to customer service, and I talked to from Blizzard, and I asked them this question. I'm like, what do I do if I have the collector's edition, then I buy the regular edition? They mentioned that once you get the collector's edition and you input your key in, you can just go ahead and open up a ticket for customer service, and they will go ahead and reimburse you for that regular edition. Now, the way they reimburse you is they'll give you a game code. Like they'll give you a game key for free. So if one of your friends is gonna just jump in with the regular game, don't at time, but you're gonna get a collector's edition themselves, tell them, hey, dude, you want to give me the money? I'll give you the key once I get it from customer service. Or hey, like I'll probably just give it to one of my friends for free, whatever you want to do. But just make sure that once you put the code in for your collector's edition or your, and stuff like that, you do go ahead and hit up customer service with that ticket, so you can go ahead and get that game key. But right now is definitely a good time to jump in. And of course, Blizzard does a whole thing where you're paying monthly, but you can earn enough in-game gold and you can buy wild tokens, which give you another 30 days. So I mean, that's the little wild tidbit for the moment. So it's a good time to jump in. If you haven't played in a while, you can buy wild tokens with in-game gold to keep on playing, so you don't have to pay for it. So that's another version of free to play without really going free to play. And of course, if you're not, you can always go ahead and pay your monthly subscriptions for that. Well, rip, ladies and gentlemen, rip. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with this. I'm gonna kind of continue solo. For those of you who are just listening to the audio podcast, um, Colin has mysteriously disappeared from Skype, so we're not sure if he maybe lost connection on his own or something happened. If those of you watching the video podcast, of course, you see that Colin is no longer in the picture. As soon as he comes back, we're gonna go ahead and pretty much make him let him jump back into the podcast. But for now, let's go ahead and keep on talking about gaming news and pretty much more stuff that we have covered for this evening. One of the things that we've been talking about lately and been talking about recently, it has been the CS:GO Lotto scandal. And of course, the different streamers and different YouTubers going ahead and pretty much using Counter-Strike gambling sites as another way of for themselves to earn revenue. But one of the things is that they've been doing it in a manner that has been pretty shady and pretty under the table, as they call it. They haven't been disclosing that they are owners of these gambling sites. They've been going ahead and pretty much promoting their sites without really saying that they're sponsored or owners of these sites. So a lot of FTC issues are getting involved. There are class action lawsuits, like we mentioned last week, against T Martin and Pro Syndicate for CS:GO Lotto. There's also class action lawsuits against Valve. So this week, actually pretty much today, Valve released a violation of Steam subscriber agreement and has been sending a cease and desist order pretty much to all these gambling sites. Let me go ahead and read that out to you guys so you guys can hear what that is. And it says, Valve, dear sirs, regarding violations of Steam subscriber agreement, we are aware that you are operating one of the gambling sites listed below. You are using Steam accounts to conduct this business. Your use of Steam is subject to the terms of the Steam subscriber agreement, SSA. And then under the SSA, Steam and Steam service are licensed for personal, non-commercial use only. Your commercial use of Steam account is unlicensed and in violation of the SSA. You should immediately cease and desist further use of your Steam accounts for any commercial purpose. If you fail to do this within 10 days, Valve will pursue all available remedies, including, without limitation, terminating your accounts. General Counsel Valve Corporation. Now I have that up here as far as the cease and desist order. They have different websites like CS:GO Lounge, CS:GO Double, CS:GO Cosmo, CS:GO Lotto, of course, CS:GO Wild, which has been kind of under speculation that, and they are allegedly owned by some of the people of the FaZe clan. So more on that. If we hear anything soon enough on that, we're gonna go ahead and let you guys know more about that. Whether they are, CS:GO Wild is owned by people from the FaZe clan or not. But for now, pretty much, if you have anything on the gambling sites, make sure you get your inventory back. once they're gone, we're probably not gonna get your inventory back. You're probably gonna lose out on this inventory. They do have 10 days. A lot of these websites have pretty much already been going ahead and tweeting out that they're gonna be stopping their services. They're gonna be pretty much done as well. You know, they're not gonna try to find another way to keep on continuing. They've already made their money, and they just want to stop. So it's all on them whether they want to go ahead and continue or not. And pretty much a lot of them seem to say, you know what, it's not worth the trouble to go ahead and fight this fight. Valve is finally stepping up and pretty much telling them you can't use CSGO skins for these gambling sites. You can't scam your players out of these money. Are they scamming people? We are not sure. But some of the stuff is shady and under the table. And of course, minors have been able to use these sites without any worries and without any troubles. So now Valve is saying, you know, it's kind of saying, hey, put a stop to this. This is our way of saying, you know, you can't do this anymore. Is it gonna be, like, you know, that much of a big thing? For now, we are seeing a big trend, a big difference as far as Twitch streams. A lot of Twitch streamers who used to do CS:GO gambling are no longer, you know, doing gambling themselves. They're actually playing the game. They're playing other games now. You know, so it's a thing. And of course, Twitch doesn't allow, you know, terms of breaking terms from, like, you know, third-party services as well. So of course, no more gambling is also allowed. As far as CS:GO gambling is allowed on Twitch at the moment because of this pursuant cease and desist from Valve going out to all these gambling sites. I'm right here. I'm right now checking out PC Gamer. It says Valve issues cease and desist orders to more than 20 CS:GO gambling sites. So pretty much, what they're saying is that the short version is that Valve wants to stop this from happening. However, confused matters further. There's also a concurrent case running against Valve, where Michael John McLeod believes the blame lies not within the many CS:GO betting sites, but with Valve for enabling and supporting their existence. Pretty much what that they mean is that, you know, these terms of service or this SSA has been broken pretty much for a while by these gambling sites, but Valve has not done anything about it until now with all these scandals going on. Did it take something like this big in order to get Valve to notice? Did they pretty much let it go under the table and sweep it under the rug and hoping nobody would notice? We're not sure, but we are sure that Valve is finally going ahead and putting that through and telling them enough is enough. These gambling sites cannot be allowed to go on. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and talk about a little bit better news. Something that happened this weekend. Something that I enjoy a lot. Evo 2016, the fighting game convention. Not only was it, you know, crazy, like all these games going on, all these people like going crazy, and pretty much coming, like, laying down history at their feet, and pretty much, for example, like, you know, Liquid Hungry Box going from always going in third, second to finally winning the Super Smash Bros. Melee Evo tournament for himself, to Street Fighter V, the Evo 2016 tournament being on ESPN2. I mean, they're breaking strides of history. They're pretty much going all along. It's been going crazy. ESPN Esports, the ESPN Esports channel themselves put up a bunch of stories of like infiltration, how it went after he won Street Fighter V. We have little Long Island Joe and on his Evo run, USA. We have Liquid Hungry Box winning Melee. We have a lot of stuff like that going on, and of course you can check that out on ESPN Esports. You can check out Twitch, I believe, for the replays as well, so you can check that out. But if you're a fighting game enthusiast, or you just like watching fighting games, go ahead and check out those highlights. Definitely one of the greatest things that I've seen as far as like competitive wise. Pretty much people one-on-one. It's a stadium. It's full of people like watching these people fight, but yet they're still there fighting on the CRT screen on these foldable chairs like it's nobody's business. They're not behind booths. They're not behind these big old production things like where they're sitting. Like everything around them is a production, but where they're sitting, it's literally just them, folding chairs, a table, and their CRT monitor. Talking about keeping it old school. That's a lot of fun to see. And then when you see the reactions to these things, amazing. So I mean, if you like I said, if you like fighting games, if you never really checked out fighting games, I still suggest you check out Evo 2016. You go check out the run, pretty much see all the greatness that happened, and you can make sure catch a lot of great things, and you probably become a fan of some of these fighting games and probably pick them up yourself. You never know. But right now that we're gonna go ahead and change it a little bit as well. One of the things that we always do here, as far as like checking out games that are coming out, is we know that there's games that are coming out next week. There's games that are coming out this week, but we also know that there's always sales going on. So the sale that we're looking at this week is the superhero sale by the PlayStation Store. We have Mortal Kombat X, which the reason I switched over to that because Mortal Kombat X fighting game, and they did have a Mortal Kombat tournament as well at Evo, which was pretty exciting actually to actually look at it like in that sense. We have Mortal Kombat X on the PS4 for $20.99. If you're a fan of the fighting game, you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, I think that's a good price to pick it up. We have Batman Arkham Knight, $17.99. It's a pretty good price for that game. I still, maybe I'll wait off on that. Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition is the Ultimate Edition, so it includes everything for $7.99. I would still give that a pass, to be honest with you. Not a Hero, $6.49. I don't know much about that game, so I'll give it a pass for now. We do have all the Lego games. Lego Batman for $8.99. Lego Marvel's Adventures for $34.99. Lego Marvel Superheroes for $7.99. Those Lego games are really, really good, especially if you have kids and families to play it with. So I definitely recommend Lego Batman 3. Sorry, that's just the season pass. I'll look for. Sorry, they do have Lego Batman Beyond Gotham for $7.99 and the deluxe edition for $20.99. So I definitely suggest the Lego Batman series. Lego Marvel Adventures maybe a little bit too pricey, but Lego Marvel Superheroes is a good price if you want to pick that up. Deadpool's $34.49. I still wait a little bit more to that one to drop down and before you actually go ahead and buy that. We do have Broforce for $7.49. Now that is a really fun game. It's pretty much like a Contra style game, like it's a 2D shooter. One of the things about that is when you break different boxes, you become different bros or different bro heroes. Like the bro Terminator, like Samurai Champloo guy, the bro Neo, like the Matrix, I believe. So it's a lot of fun, especially but it's definitely best played in multiplayer. So you definitely check that out if I was you. Infamous First Light. I'm sorry, that's the add-on. Standalone add-on for $10.49. I think I've seen it cheaper sometimes. I would wait on that. But Infamous Second Son for $12.99. That's a really good price. I would definitely recommend picking that up. And then the last one on there, I believe they have Strider, which is a pretty good game as well. They pretty much brought back Strider. I would definitely recommend picking that up. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 Gold Edition, I would not wait that up, especially not for $29.39. And of course, you have Lego the Movie, the video game. It's $11.99. If you like the Lego games, I would definitely recommend picking it up. Other than that, I would probably give it a straight up pass as well. But speaking of games that are coming out next week, I did go ahead and also have I was fortunate enough to get a review copy for a game called This Is the Police by We Appy Studios. I do have a gameplay and let's play video up on my YouTube channel. Just go ahead and look for ExclusivelyLex, or you can check out the description below. I'll go ahead and put the links to my YouTube channel, and you can go ahead and check out the gameplay. No review yet. The review embargo is not up until Monday. So on Monday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time, I'll go ahead and post up my review video as well. And next week I'll go ahead and talk about that, so in case you guys want to check that out. I believe it is $14.99, so you can go ahead and pick that up when it's out. It's called This Is the Police. It's a can't really talk about reviews and stuff like that, but again, next Monday we'll go ahead and do a review for that so that you guys can check it out. Go ahead and check out my YouTube channel so you can check out that. And of course, Title Race is gonna have more games coming out, and you guys will always give you recommendations for that. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out the game called This Is the Police, go check out my gameplay on my YouTube. Of course, the info's on down below, or you can just look for ExclusivelyLex, and you can find my YouTube channel there. You can see an E and an X as far as my logo for my channel. You guys can check that out. Go check out that gameplay. The review, like I said, is going to be out next Monday. You guys can do that. But onto other news, pretty much to end the show tonight. Colin and myself have decided to start something. We haven't really decided the name for it yet, but I guess we're going to kind of go with the Digital Deluxe Demo Days or Digital Deluxe Game Club. Starting August 3rd, what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much take a bunch of games, we're going to write them down, put them in a bowl or a randomizer, and you guys can do so as well. You guys can go ahead and submit names to us. You can email me at alex@titlerace.com, or you can go ahead and hit up the Digital Deluxe Podcast at digital_deluxe on Twitter, and you can go ahead and pretty much put in name suggestions for games that you definitely want us to check out. And starting August 3rd, we're gonna pull out a name from the hat. We're gonna go ahead and get that name of that game, and we're gonna play it for 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about that game that we played, whether it was good or bad, whether we recommend going back to checking it out. Maybe it's something that you wanted to play before that you want to pretty much join us and play as well. You can go ahead and do so. I'm gonna stream it sometimes myself, so that way we can kind of have like our Digital Deluxe crew come in and check out the gameplay for those videos as well, and check out the gameplay for those games as well. So again, if you want to submit any names for those any games for that game club or the demo days that as we're calling it, tentatively for now, go ahead and of course email me or hit me up on Digital Deluxe digital_deluxe on Twitter, so you can go ahead and submit those names. And of course, you guys can join in, play those games with us, and come and chat. We'll probably talk at the end of the podcast or anything like that. Post podcast, we'll talk about how good the game was, how bad the game was, whether you would buy the game again, whether you think it will waste some money, whatever you think. So you can come in and talk to us, and of course, you can email in about that as well. Now went out, so I've been doing this solo for the last bit. But if you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and email me at alex@titlerace.com. You can always go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Digital Deluxe, or follow myself. My personal Twitter is at Lex Exclusives. You can also follow Colin at Calling Me Maybe. I'll put a description under the title. You can also go to titlerace.com to check out the rest of the information there for the other podcasts, other gaming entertainment news that we have as well. And of course, titlerace.com/stream team to check out the rest of the team. Check out the FIFA 16 tournament that's still going on. Go ahead and root for the people that you want. Of course, don't forget, go ahead and support Spin Bros for Fatal, and let them know that we are all behind them as far as the Title Race family. Thank you guys so much for everything. If you guys like this podcast, of course, you can find it on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google, Google services and everything like that. You can also watch the video podcast over at the Title Race YouTube. And if you do me a favor, go ahead and leave a 5-star review down in the comments for the iTunes store as well, so you can go ahead and let us know how much you love us. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate that. And that's it for the Digital Deluxe podcast. Next week, we'll probably have no issues. We'll see if we can come back. Thank you guys. Woo!